Dear students, good morning to one and all. Previous videos we are completed in this first year the unit diversity in the living world. In this previous videos are completed the first chapter the living world, the second chapter biological classification. Now, today we are going to discuss about the third chapter, science of plants. Science of plants. Let us now discuss about the biology. Already, the first video to be introduction to biological classification. Briefly discuss about the what is meaning of biology, how many branches are divided into biology, what is botany, what is zoology, who is father of biology, who is father of botany, who is father of zoology. So dear students, once again repeated to the what is meaning of biology. Biology means the study of living organisms is called biology, or the study of life forms and the living process is also called biology. In this biology is derived from two Greek words. The first Greek word bios means life. Second Greek word logos means study or discourse. In this biology is divided into two branches. They are namely first branch botany, second branch zoology. What is meaning of botany? The study of plants is called botany or phytology. The study of plants is called botany or phytology, and the study of animals is called zoology. Okay now? Who is father of biology? Aristotle. Aristotle is a father of biology. Who is father of botany? Theophrastus. Theophrastus is a father of botany. Who is father of zoology? Aristotle. Aristotle is a father of zoology. Okay now? This is clearly understood in introduction to biology. Now, coming to the origin. Okay now. So, one means birth of the botany. Birth of the botany. The study of plants is called botany. The word botany is derived from Greek words. Biology is derived from two Greek words. At the same, the word botany is derived from some Greek words. Okay now. So first Greek word bos. Bos means cattle. The second Greek word boskin means cattle feed. Okay now. Next coming to in this boskin gives rise to the form of botany. Form of botany. Botany means some of the herbs. Some of the herbs only. Next coming to this botany which changed in due course into botany. In due course into botany. cattle feed. After Boscain gives rise to in the form of botany. Botany means only herbs, some of the herbs. Then after botany is derived from the botany. Botany means all plants such as herbs, shrubs, and also trees. This is a origin of botany. Now next coming to development of botany. So dear students, Assyrians and Egyptians 4000 BC, that is before Christian 4000 BC recorded information related to croplands and fruit trees in the form of pictures is called hieroglyphics. So first, the development of botany in 4000 BC, before Christian, especially Assyrians and Egyptians recorded information related to some croplands and fruit trees. Only some croplands and fruit trees in the form of pictures or diagrams. So in these pictures or in these diagrams are now called as hieroglyphics. Next coming to by 2500 BC, so the Chinese learned the cultivated in plants. How to cultivation of cropping plants? By introduced by Chinese BC 2500. So here by 2500 BC, the Chinese learned the cultivated in plants. So how to cultivating in the cropping plants? First to be introduced the Chinese by 2500 BC. Next coming to Atharvana Veda 2000 BC, use a description of medicinal plants and their uses. Assyrians and Egyptians so recorded information in related of croplands and fruit trees. In the form of pictures, that is called hieroglyphics. So by means 4000 BC, first to be introduced to some of the croplands and fruit trees, and 2500 BC, first to be introduced to how to cultivate in croplands. Next 2000 BC in Atharvana Veda to be described some of the medicinal plants, and in those medicinal plants how to using of medicinal plants in the economically purpose. So in this medicinal plants how to using in their economical purpose. Okay, now Atharvana Veda 2000 BC, use a description of medicinal plants and their uses. So in this Atharvana Veda, and also mainly scientists are called here Parasara. So here next coming to Parasara, so 1300 BC wrote one book, especially in this book wrote only agriculture and weeds. So in this book are named as Krishi Parasaram. Krishi Parasaram only described about the agricultural plants and weeding plants. In this book wrote by Parasara in this 1300 BC. Parasara 1300 BC wrote here one book. So in this book totally also wrote another book describing 14 types of forest. 14 types of forest. Not only agricultural plants and weeding plants. Then after some time, Parasara wrote another book, totally 14 types of forest and the external and internal characters of plants. That is external and internal characters of medicinal plants is also. Not only agricultural plants, not only weeding plants. At the same time, Parasara wrote another book describing totally 14 types of forest, 14 types of forest and external and internal characters of plants and also medicinal plants. So totally described about one book. The book are named Vrikshayurveda. This book named as Vrikshayurveda. Okay now. He also wrote another book describing 14 types of forests and the external and internal characters of plants and also medicinal plants, that is Vrikshayurveda. So dear students, Parasara 1300 BC to be wrote two books. First book are here Krishi Parasara. Second book are here Vrikshayurveda. Krishi Parasara to be described about agricultural plants and weeding plants. But Vrikshayurveda to be described about 14 types of forests and external and internal characters of plants and medicinal plants. That is Vrikshayurveda. This is very important area. And Parasara is also known as father of Indian botanist. Father of Indian botanist. Who is father of Indian botanist? That is named Parasara. So he is father of botanist. That is Theophrastus. Worldwide. Generally, who is father of botanist? Theophrastus. Okay, worldwide. But in India wide, who is father of Indian botanist? That is Parasara. Why? Because to be wrote two books. These two books are Krishi Parasara and Vrikshayurveda. Krishi Parasara and Vrikshayurveda. So those two books to be detailed described about the agricultural plants, weeding plants and 14 types of forest plants and medicinal plants and also medicinal plants. So hence he is regarded he is a father of Indian botanist. Who is father of Indian botanist? Parasara. Who is father of botany? Theophrastus. Who is father of modern botanist? Carolus Maon Linnaeus. Don't confuse here, dear students. Who is father of Indian botanist? Parasara. Parasara is a father of Indian botanist. Who is father of botany? Theophrastus. Theophrastus is a father of botany. Who is father of modern botanist? Carolus Maon Linnaeus or Carl Maon Linnaeus is a father of modern botanist. Next, coming to Theophrastus, 340 BC is regarded as father of botany. Theophrastus is regarded as a father of botany. Why? Because he described external and internal characters of 500 kinds of plants. Not only 100 kinds of plants, not only 200 kinds of plants. Totally described about the 500 kinds of plants. External and internal characters is also. External characters such as plant root system, plant stem system, plant leaf characters. Internal characters is also TS of root, TS of stem, TS of leaf. That is transverse section of root, transverse section of stem, transverse section of leaf. These are the external and the internal characters. Okay now, Theophrastus is regarded as father of botany. Why? Because hence he described external and internal characters of 500 kinds of plants. External characters such as external to be appeared, plant root system, plant leaf-like characters. Internal characters such as internally to be appeared, anatomically to be appeared, TS of root, transsection of root, TS of stem, transsection of stem, TS of leaf, transsection of leaf. That is dicotyledon and monocotyledon. Okay now. In his book De Historia Plantarum, in his book De Historia Plantarum, De Historia Plantarum to be totally described about the 500 kinds of external and internal characters of plants. Okay now. So De Historia Plantarum in this book wrote by Theophrastus. Theophrastus. Parasara wrote by 2 books. One is Krisi Parasaram, second one is Vrikshayurveda. Theophrastus wrote one book, that is De Historia Plantarum. De Historia Plantarum. And also Carolus von Linnaeus or Carl Linnaeus wrote some books, that is named Species Plantarum, Philosophia Botanica, Species Plantarum and Philosophia Botanica. Philosophia Botanica. Why? These 3 scientists are well known. So one is Parasara. So he is regarded as a father of Indian botanist. Another one is Theophrastus. He is regarded as a father of botany. Another one is Carolus von Linnaeus or Carl von Linnaeus. He is regarded as a father of modern botanist. Father of modern botanist. And just coming to another main scientists are here, Greek philosophers such as Socrates, Plato and Aristotle. These 3 Greek scientists are very well famous now. So those are philosophers. Philosophers means all subjects including well-known persons in all subjects including mathematics, science and sociology. Not only science, including all subjects, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology and also sociology. Evergreen members, evergreen, all subjects. So Greek philosophers such as Socrates, Plato and Aristotle contributed for the development of botany into a science. For the development of botany into a science, main Greek philosophers are here 3 members: Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. So Aristotle is considered as a father of biology as well as father of zoology. So dear students, modern technology are helped to biology to progress rapidly, such as centrifugation, chromatography and electrophoresis. Modern technology are helped to biology to progress rapidly, so such as development of new techniques or new equipments, that is ultracentrifugation. This ultracentrifugation is always help in separate of cell organelles. Next one, chromatography. So this technique are help in separate of chemical compounds present in the living cells. Next one here, electrophoresis. So this technique are help in molecules or macromolecules may be separated in electrical fields if they are maybe changed in different extents. These 3 modern techniques are used in their biology purpose. And also modern technology and development of other branches, especially physics and chemistry, are now used as biology. So hence, if you now to be regarded in the golden era of biology, golden era biology. Okay, now this is about the origin and development of botany. Okay, now thank you. Dear students, good morning to one and all. Previous class we will discuss about the origin and development of botany. In this development of botany, to be detailed discussed about the beginning of the Christian era. Today we are going to discuss about the development of botany in 16th and 17th centuries, 18th century. So now let us discuss about the 16th, 17th and 18th centuries in development of botany. Now first one, Renaissance period of 16th and 17th centuries can be described as a period of herbalist. So the books written by herbalists, so that is called herbals. They identified and described medicinal plants. So dear students, so in Renaissance period, between of the 16th and 17th centuries, can be described in this period only herbalists. So herbalist means, so the books written by herbalists, that is called herbals. That is called herbals. So they identified and described only medicinal plants. Some of the herbal medicinal plants to be identified herbalists. To be identified herbalists. Only some of the medicinal herbal plants such as Datura, that is Thornapil, Osmum, that is Tulasi, that is Tulasi. Okay, now these are the some herbal medicinal plants. Some herbal medicinal plants. Okay, now Renaissance period of 16th and 17th centuries can be described as period of herbalists. So the books written by herbalists, that is called herbals. What is the meaning of herbals? The books written by herbalists, that is called herbals. So these herbals only identified and described some of the medicinal plants, such as some herbal medicinal plants, including Osmum, that is Tulasi, and Datura, Thornapil, aloe vera. Okay, now these are the some herbal medicinal plants. Next, coming to in the year 1623, Gaspard Bohin introduced the binomial nomenclature for the first time. In the year 1623, Gaspard Bohin to be introduced to binomial nomenclature, and he published the description and identification of 6,000 plants. At the same time, he published description and identification of 6,000 plants. 6,000 plants to be identified. Gaspard Bohin in the year 1623 introduced the binomial nomenclature. One plant consisting of two components. By means, one plant scientific name consists of two components. One is genus, second one is species. That is binomial nomenclature. Every plant scientific name consisting of two components. So the first component genus and the second component species, that is named binomial nomenclature. At the same time, so he published description and identification of 6,000 plants. 6,000 plants. That is goes to Gaspard Bohin. Gaspard Bohin in the year 1623 introduced the binomial nomenclature for the first time, and he published the description and identification of 6,000 plants. Next, coming to in the year 1665, Robert Hooke discovered cell? Who is discovered the cell? Robert Hooke, and he published the book Micrographia. He published the book Micrographia. In the year 1665, Robert Hooke discovered the cell, and he published the book Micrographia. Who is discovered the cell? In which book written by him? So Robert Hooke discovered the cell, and the book name Micrographia in the year 1665. Next, coming to Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Anton van Leeuwenhoek in the year 1674 observed the bacterial cell for the first time in living condition. Robert Hooke discovered the cell in the year 1665, but in the year 1674, Anton van Leeuwenhoek discovered the one type of bacterial cell for the first time in living condition. So here the living cell first to be observed Anton van Leeuwenhoek within the help of light microscope. Anton van Leeuwenhoek to be prepared one light microscope. Okay now. Anton van Leeuwenhoek in the year 1674 observed the bacterial cell for the first time in living condition, and also discovered the light microscope. That is, credit goes to Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Next, coming to, so this is a 16th century, and next coming to 17th century, Nehemiah Broom and Marcello Morphisi described the plant tissues and laid foundation for anatomy. Okay now, Nehemiah Broom and Marcello Morphisi in 17th century described the plant tissues. Tissues means, so in generally the plant body is made up of more than two cells or a group of cells. So these group of cells or more than two cells are known as tissues, and laid foundation for anatomy. Anatomy means, so anatomy, it deals with the study of gross internal structure of root, stem and leaves. That is called anatomy. By means internal structure of plant organs. To be detailed described about the internal structure of plant organs, that is known as anatomy. At the same time, ending of the 17th century, so in the year 1694, Camerarius who gave a described sexual reproduction in plants. That is goes to Camerarius in the year 1694 to give a description of sexual reproduction in plants. Okay now, this is about the 16th centuries and 17th centuries in development of botany. Okay now, next coming to 18th century. During 18th century, there was progress in the area of taxonomy and physiology. Okay now, 16th century and 17th century, so those scientists to be observed cell and living bacterial cell and plant tissues and plant anatomy and one type of sexual reproduction, and at the same time to be described about the 6,000 plants, and also to be described about the some medicinal plants, and during 18th century to be detailed described about the plant taxonomy and physiology. So these are the branches of botany: anatomy, taxonomy, physiology. These are the branches of botany. Botany branches are here. Okay now. So now taxonomy Taxonomy deals with the study of identification, nomenclature and classification of plants, that is called taxonomy. And physiology, it deals with the study of vital description about the plants, to be absorption of water and mineral nutrients, photosynthesis, respiration, nitrogen metabolism, plant growth, development of fruit, development of seeds, that is called physiology. That is called physiology. Okay now. So in 18th century, Carolus von Linnaeus is a Swedish botanist. He is popularized binomial nomenclature, and at the same time he also proposed the sexual system of classification. In 16th century, Gaspard Boyle first introduced the binomial nomenclature, but in 18th century, Carolus von Linnaeus is a famous Swedish botanist. He popularized the binomial nomenclature. Why? Because he wrote a one book that is named Species Plantarum, to be instructed some of the ICBN rules, to be followed by some of the ICBN rules, and at the same time to be introduced to sexual system of classification. At the same time, he also famous father of taxonomist and father of modern botanist. That is great goes to Carolus von Linnaeus. Okay now, Carolus von Linnaeus is a popularized binomial nomenclature, and he also proposed a sexual system of classification, and at the same time to be wrote a Species Plantarum. He is also well known of father of modern botanist. He is also well known of father of taxonomist. Next, coming to Stephen Hales. So Stephen Hales is one of the physiology scientists. Carolus von Linnaeus is one of the taxonomy scientists. But Stephen Hales and Joseph Priestley both are physiology scientists. So Stephen Hales showed that water is conducted through xylem. He also demonstrated root pressure. Generally, plants absorb water and mineral nutrients with the help of root hairs through the xylem, and to be transfer remaining total plant body, one part of the plant body to another part of the plant body through the xylem. Why? Because depend upon to the root pressure. Why? Because depend upon to the one type of root pressure. Okay now. So he is a father of plant physiologist. Okay now. Stephen Hales showed that water is conducted through xylem. He also demonstrated root pressure. Stephen Hales to be described about the root pressure by means how to absorption of water and mineral nutrients, within the plants. So with the help of xylem, generally plant of root hairs absorb water and mineral nutrients after to be translocated one part of the plant body to another part of the plant body through the xylem. So he is also well known of father of physiologist. Next, coming to Joseph Priestley discovered that green plants absorb toxic gases and releases pure gas in green plants. Release of pure gas or fresh gas, pure gas and fresh gas in green plants. Joseph Priestley discovered all green plants absorb toxic gases and released fresh gas or pure gas. So he said to that of Joseph Priestley and also Stephen Hales. Okay now, this is about to the 16th and 17th, 18th century in development of botany. Students, previous classes we will detailed discuss about the origin of botany and some in the beginning of Christian era and 16th, 17th, 18th centuries in development of botany. Now let us today we are going to discuss about the development of botany during 19th century and 20th century. Okay, now let us know during the 19th century there was a considerable amount of progress in different branches of botany. Dear students, already during the 18th century to be developed different branches of botany, especially taxonomy and physiology. During the 19th century and 20th century is also considerable to be progress of developed different branches of botany. Different branches of botany. So now Gregor Johann Mendel conducted hybridization experiments in the year 1866 on pea plants. So he introduced the law of inheritance. So he became popular as father of genetics. Who is father of genetics? Gregor Johann Mendel. Why? Because so he conducted hybridization experiments on pea plants. Gregor Johann Mendel to be taken up one contrasting traits. To be taken up 7 contrasting traits. The first contrasting traits are here. One is tall plant, another one is a dwarf plant. So these two plants to be breeding, to be crossing in F1 generation to be developed one new hybrid plant. One new hybrid plant, that is hybridization experiment. This experiment to be developed in the year 1866. At the same time to be introduced to law of inheritance. Law of inheritance. So inheritance means so the characters are passed from one generation to another generation. By means the characters are passed from parent to offspring. Parent to offspring. That is law of inheritance. Hence he is regarded as father of genetics. Gregor Johann Mendel is considered as a father of genetics. Why? Because to be explained hybridization experiments to be proposed law of inheritance. To be proposed law of inheritance. Gregor Johann Mendel conducted hybridization experiments in the year 1866 on pea plants. That is garden pea plants. The scientific name Physum sativum. He introduced the law of inheritance. How two characters are passed from one generation to another generation, or characters are passed from parent to offspring. This phenomenon first to be introduced to Gregor Johann Mendel, especially in garden pea plants. So he became popular as a father of genetics. Now coming to another scientist here, Haeckel contributed for the beginning of ecology. Ernest Haeckel contributed for the beginning of ecology. What is the meaning of ecology? So it deals with the study of reciprocal relationship between the plants and their surrounding environments in the living condition. In the living condition, that is called ecology. It deals with the study of reciprocal relationship between the plants and their surroundings in which they are living. That is called ecology. Next coming to Heinlein, De Candolle, Bentham and Hooker to be proposed different taxonomic classifications. Different taxonomic classifications. Now Darwin so proposed to put forward the theory of evolution. So evolution theory to be proposed by Charles Darwin. Evolution theory to be proposed by Charles Darwin. That is Darwin put forward the theory of evolution. Next coming to another scientist here, Buchner. So Edward Buchner. discovered the enzyme gymase. Edward Buckner discovered the one enzyme that is named gymase enzyme in living cells, especially yeast. Gymase enzyme is obtained the yeast cell. The yeast cell, which is Edward Buckner. So this is about the during the 19th century the development of botany to be experimentally studies. And next coming to during the 20th century. So the well developed botany in during the 20th century. So well developed technology and well developed botany with combined biophysics and biochemistry will be developed in during the 20th century. So Sutton and Boveri explained the role of chromosomes in heredity. Sutton and Boveri explained what is the role of chromosomes in heredity process. So DNA occurs a pair of chromosomes or single chromosomes. So these chromosomes to be involving the heredity process. So this phenomenon first to be observed Sutton and Boveri, that is named chromosome theory of inheritance. Chromosomal theory of inheritance. Sutton and Boveri explained the role of chromosomes in heredity. Now Hugo de Vries discovered mutations in plants. Mutations suddenly to be change of characters in any organism. Suddenly to be change a phenotypical characters or genotypical characters in an organism, that is called mutation. Especially to be change of phenotypical characters. Suddenly to be change in phenotypical characters that in any organism, that is called mutations. In this phenomenon first to be observed Hugo de Vries discovered mutations in plants. But Charles Darwin put forward the theory of evolution, but Hugo de Vries discovered mutations in plants. Don't confuse over here. Clearly understood over here. Next coming to Watson and Crick to be discovered one type of nucleic acid, that is DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. Discovered a Watson and Crick. Then after to be awarded the Nobel Prize. So DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, double helical structure of DNA proposed by Watson and Crick. Double helical structure of DNA proposed by Watson and Crick. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. Franklin Conrad to be discovered RNA. RNA means ribonucleic acid. Okay, here both are nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are of two types. One is DNA, second one is RNA. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. RNA means ribonucleic acid. DNA containing deoxyribose sugar, RNA containing ribose sugar. These are the differences between DNA and RNA. Next coming to Nirenberg, Argovind Khurana contributed to the clearly understood of genetic code. The study of genes is called genetics. So how to form of genes to be arrangement of one coding structure. This phenomenon first to be observed Nirenberg and Argovind Khurana contributed to the genetic code, and Argovind Khurana or H.G. Khurana to be prepare a artificial chromosomes or artificial genes. To be prepare a Argovind Khurana. Okay now. artificial synthetic of chromosomes, artificial synthetic of chromosomes or artificial synthetic of genes. Next coming to Knoll and Ruska. Knoll, case Knoll and Ruska in the year 1932 to be invented a electron microscope. We is discovered the electron microscope, Knoll and Ruska, but light microscope to be discovered Anton van Leeuwenhoek. So in the year 16th century, light microscope to be developed 16th century, but electron microscope to be developed 20th century. Okay, now clearly understood. Light microscope to be developed 16th century, to be developed Anton van Leeuwenhoek, but electron microscope to be developed during 20th century. So described about the Knoll and Ruska. Knoll and Ruska. Knoll and Ruska to be developed electron microscope during the 20th century. Next coming to J.B. Sumner. J.B. Sumner. So to be make a crystallized enzyme, to be make a one crystallized enzyme that is named urease. Urease is one of the crystallized enzyme. This crystallized enzyme of urease to be prepared by J.B. Sumner, but that is zymase enzyme. So zymase enzyme discovered by Buchner in living of yeast cell. Don't confuse here. First the zymase enzyme discovered by Edward Buchner in living cell, such example yeast. But one crystallized enzyme, first crystallized enzyme to be described by J.B. Sumner, that is urease. Urease is one of the crystallized enzyme. This enzyme to be described J.B. Sumner. Zymase enzyme to be discovered Edward Buchner. Urease enzyme to be discovered J.B. Sumner. Next coming to photosynthetic pathways, Melvin Calvin, Benson and Boson. Melvin Calvin, Benson and Boson to be discovered the C3 pathway of carbon. C3 pathway of carbon in C3 plants. C3 pathway of carbon in C3 plants. By means some plants to be stored of food materials in the 3 carbon compounds. In the 3 carbon compounds. By means in this C3 pathway to be involved only 3 carbon compound of organic acids, especially in C3 plants. Arch and Slab to be discovered the C4 pathway. C4 pathway of carbon in C4 plants. Some C4 plants. So to be store the C4 organic acids. By means some plants to be prepare a 4 carbon compound of organic acids. 4 carbon compound of organic acids. Especially maize and sorghum. Maize and sorghum and sugarcane. Maize or sorghum and sugarcane. Okay, no? So the Indian famous botanist and professor V.S. Ramdas. So SV University professor, he is a SV University professor. He is regarded as a Cranch anatomy in especially C4 plants. In especially C4 plants of leaves shows one type of special type of anatomy, that is named Cranch anatomy. This Cranch anatomy first to be described, detailed described SV University professor, botany SV University professor, that is Professor V.S. Ramdas. Professor V.S. Ramdas. Professor V.S. Ramdas to be discovered the Cranch anatomy in C4 plants of leaves. In C4 plants of leaves. Okay, now Professor V.S. Ramdas to be described Cranch anatomy in C4 plants of leaves. Such examples are here: sorghum and sugarcane. Sorghum and sugarcane. This is a special type of anatomy, that is Cranch anatomy. That is Cranch anatomy. He is one of the SV University botany professor, well-known botany professor. And Hans Crafts to be discovered and abdomen to be proposed a auxin. This is a one type of growth hormone. Abdomen to be discovered of one type of growth hormone, that is auxin. Who is proposed by auxin? Abdomen. And next coming to Woodhouse, PKK Naya, CGK Ramanjam to be developed paleontology. To be developed paleontology. What is the meaning of paleontology? So it deals with the study of microspores or pollen grains. That is called paleontology. It deals with the study of all aspects related to microspores or pollen grains. That is called paleontology. This is a one type of botany branch. Last one over here, Bessey, Rendell, Takhtajan, Hutchinson and Cronquist are well-known taxonomists to be prepare a phylogenetic system of classification. Phylogenetic system of classification. We is prepare a phylogenetic system of classification. That is credit goes to Bessey, Rendell, Takhtajan, Hutchinson and Cronquist. So both scientists are well famous taxonomists to be prepare a phylogenetic system of classification. Phylogenetic system of classification. Dear students, this is about the origin and the development of botany in ancient times of beginning of the Christian era in 4000 BC, 2500 BC, 2000 BC, 1300 BC, 340 BC and 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th centuries. How to development of botany in 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th centuries. Dear students, good morning to one and all. Today we are going to discuss about the scope. What is the scope of botany? Now let us discuss about the man's domestication of plants refers to history of human civilization. Several crop cultivation to be described about the human civilization. Next, the problem like decreasing resources and increasing population could be solved to a great extent by enhancing crop yields through green revolution and also develop diseases, plant resistant crops utilizing the principle of biotechnology. Mainly the problem like decreasing resources and increasing population, especially increasing of the human being population, decreasing certain resources. So could be solved to a great extent by enhancing crop yield. Enhancing mainly crop yield, high crop yield through green revolution. By means, so to be increasing of high population in this time to be developed hybrid variety of wheat, rice, maize. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan to be introduced the hybrid varieties of maize, wheat, rice and sugar cane. So these cropping plants to be utilizing in the human population. So there is no evergreen of is always food materials, and hence a certain period of the time and credit goes to Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. Hence he is regarded father of green revolution. By means increasing of the food materials at a certain period of the time. Such as mainly wheat, maize, then after rice and sugarcane. and also develop diseases and plant resistant crops utilizing the principles of biotechnology. So biotechnology, this is a new technology or modern technology of branches. One organism of DNA is combined with another organism of DNA, that is now called biotechnology. One organism of DNA is easily transferred into another organism, then transfer DNA and certain host DNA to be combined to be make a one recombinant DNA, that is called biotechnology or recombinant DNA technology. Okay, now once again, one organism of DNA is easily transferred to another organism. The another organism are here host of the organism. This organism is also containing a DNA molecule. This DNA and transfer of DNA both are combined to be make a new DNA, that is now recombinant DNA or biotechnology. Now applied fields like agriculture, forestry, horticulture and floriculture have recorded great progress through experimental hybridization and genetic engineering. So several agricultural plants, several forestry plants and several horticultural plants and several floriculture plants have been crossing one dominant plant to another recessive plant to be formed one new hybrid variety of plant, that is plant hybridization and also as well as genetic engineering. This is similar to biotechnology. So horticulture means, so it is the study, the cultivation of fruits, and floriculture, it is the study of the cultivation of flowers, that is called floriculture. So new techniques of plant breeding were used to develop hybrid varieties in crop plants like rice, wheat, maize and sugarcane. Only to be utilized plant breeding technology to be developed, especially most of the economically important cropping plants such as rice, wheat, maize, sugarcane. These 4 cropping plants are evergreen on the earth. So those 4 cropping plants are to be should be essential to be utilized in the lifespan of human beings, such as rice plant, wheat plant, maize plant and sugarcane plant. And one of the important area, the efforts made in plant physiology, especially plant physiology. Plant physiology means it deals with the study of vital variety of absorption of water and mineral nutrients in plants, growth and photosynthesis, respiration, nitrogen metabolism and development of seeds and development of fruits. That is about the plant physiology. So in this plant physiology helped in the development of agriculture by providing knowledge. So in this plant physiology is also helped in development of agriculture, at the same time by providing to be knowledge about the role of minerals in plant nutrition, and importance of hormones in plant growth. Generally plant physiology is described about the absorption of water and mineral nutrients and importance of hormones in plant growth. Certain hormones such as auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, obsessic acid and also as well as ethylene. The most important hormones are here auxins, cytokinins and ethylenes. What is the mainly play role of auxins? What is the mainly play role of cytokinins? And what is the mainly play role of ethylene? Now, auxins at low concentration can induce the formation of roots. So generally, the roots are developed in the soil, but here auxins is also developed the cutting of the stems. Roots are developed the cutting of the stems. Why? Because to be containing one type of auxins. Okay, now stem cuttings to be also produced normal roots. Why? Because these stem cuttings are containing one type of auxins, that is NAA, naphthalene acetic acid. So generally, auxins is also to be formation of roots. In which part? Stem cuttings. Normally or generally, every plant must should be containing root system, shoot system. But some of the plants is also containing root system, at the same time to be containing another roots, especially to be developed stem cuttings. These are partially roots. Okay, now auxins at low concentration can induce the formation of roots within the help of one type of auxin, that is named NAA, naphthalene acetic acid. Now another one, auxins also have epicidal effect. And are also used in the dicotyledons of weeds. Certain auxins to be easily killing of the dicotyledon weeds. The important certain auxin are here 2,4-D, that is 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Okay, now auxins at low concentration can induce the formation of roots. Auxins is also to be produced some roots, especially stem cutting parts. Why? Because containing one type of auxin, that is NAA, naphthalene acetic acid. At the same time, auxins is also to be killing of dicotyledon weeds. Why? Because containing one type of auxin, that is named 2,4-D. The full form 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. So this is the importance of auxins. Now coming to another one here, cytokinins. Cytokinins are used to enhance the shelf-life period of leafy vegetables like spinach. So cytokinins are also helping shelf-life period of leafy vegetables, especially spinach. Next coming to ethylene. Ethylene to accelerate the ripening of fruits like apple, banana and watermelons. So ethylenes play a main important role in the ripening of fruits such as apple, banana and watermelon. This is the importance of ethylene. Okay, now so this is about the scope of botany. Okay, now dear students, previous class, so we will discuss about the some scope of botany, that is some of the important of botany in the human being life. Now coming to another scope of botany or another importance of botany to be daily in the human being of the life. Now let us some industries like cloth mills, paper mills, sugar mills and Ayurvedic pharmacies could be developed due to botany or could be developed due to plants. Several economically industrious or could be developed, that is cloth mill industry, paper mill industry, sugar mill industry and Ayurvedic pharmaceutical industries. So those are questions should be developed due to the plant science or botany. Next coming to, so those plants to be produced some beverages or some condiments. So those beverages like coffee, tea, both two are non-alcoholic beverages. Remaining whiskey, brandy, wine, beer, these are alcoholic beverages. These are also available in plants, but coffee, tea, both are also available plants, but these two are non-alcoholic beverages. Remaining all are alcoholic beverages. Okay, now beverages like coffee, tea, and timber fibers are commercial important products. These commercial important products are also produced plants, and condiments like cloves, that is lavangalu, cardamom, and coriander, kothimira, cinnamon, dalchina chekka. These are also the products of plants. Okay, now cloves, cardamom, coriander, cinnamon are also the products of plants. Another commercial important products like rubber, gums, resins, dyes are obtained from plants. Plants only produced beverages and condiments, and also to be produced some of the commercial important products such as rubber, gums, resins, and some of the dyes. And plants like arnica, cinchona, neem, amla, datura, digitalis, raulpia, vitaria, osmum, belladonna are having medicinal plants. Some plants are here usefully commercially products, and some plants are usefully medicinal plants. By means, some plants are to be produced commercial products, and some plants are to be produced medicinal values. Those important medicinal plants are here: arnica, cinchona, neem, amla, datura, digitalis, raulpia, vitaria, osmum, belladonna are having medicinal plants. Okay, now cloves, common name lavangalu, cardamom, common name cardamom, coriander, common name kothimira, cinnamon, common name dalchin chakka. Next coming to rubber, common name rubber, gums, common name jiguru, resins, common name resins, dyes, common name dyes. Next one here, plants like arnica, common name arnica, cinchona, common name cinchona, neem, common name vepa, amla, common name usiri, datura, common name umeta, thornapple, digitalis, common name thurai, raulpia, common name raulpia serpentana, raulpia, common name raulpia, vitaria, common name ashwagandha, osmum, common name tulasi, belladonna, common name cinchona belladonna are having medicinal plants. And some of the plants are also to be produced some antibiotics. So those antibiotics like penicillin are obtained from one type of fungi that is named Penicillium rotatum. So dear students, penicillin is obtained from Penicillium rotatum. This is one type of fungal member. This is one type of fungal member. This type of fungal member to be produced one type of antibiotics. This is a first antibiotic that is known as penicillin. This is a wonderful drug. This penicillin first to be discovered Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming in the Second World War. In the Second World War. Okay now. Antibiotics like penicillin are obtained from one type of fungi that is named Penicillium notatum. Penicillium notatum. Dear students, penicillin is obtained from Penicillium notatum. This penicillin is discovered by Alexander Fleming in the Second World War. Next, coming to insecticides are also produced from some plants. Insecticides are also to be produced from some plants. Those plants are here BT cotton, BT brinjal, BT rice, BT cotton, BT brinjal, BT rice, BT potato. By means some of the harmful bacteria to be introduced to economically important cropping plants. These harmful bacteria to be grown in their economically important cropping plants. Certain period of the time to be killing of harmful bacteria, that is named insecticides. Those plants are here BT cotton, that is Bacillus thuringiensis cotton. Cotton is the plant name. BT means bacteria name, that is Bacillus thuringiensis. By means one bacteria to be introduced to the plant. One of the bacteria to be introduced to one type of plant. That is symbiotic association with bacteria and plant organism. So the bacteria are named Bacillus thuringiensis, short form BT. Another one is plant name, that is cotton. One type of plant name, that is cotton. So hence the name BT cotton. BT cotton. BT the bacteria name, cotton plant name. BT means Bacillus thuringiensis. Okay now. Insecticides are also produced from some plants such as BT cotton, BT brinjal, BT potato. Cotton common name Prati. Brinjal common name Wankaya. Rice common name Wari. Potato common name Bangaladumpa. Next, coming to algae like spirulina and chlorella are good sources of single cell proteins and vitamins. Generally, some of the plant members to be having good sources of proteins and also vitamins, especially Fabaceae family members containing rich sources of proteins such as bean plants and nut plants. Okay now, at the same time some of the algal members are having good sources of proteins and vitamins such as spirulina and chlorella. Okay now, next coming to, so in this chlorella you use it as food for astronauts in space research programs. So spirulina and chlorella both are containing good source of proteins and vitamins, but chlorella is also used for food for astronauts in space research programs. Okay now, this is the importance are here. Chlorella is used as food for astronauts in space research programs. Now coming to these plants to be produced some of the fuels. So these fuels like coal, coke, gasoline, petrol are produced by plant fossils. Okay now. So plant fossils produced by some fuels such as coal, coke, gasoline, petrol. These are the some important fuels. Now coming to biodiesel is also produced from plants. Those plants are here Jatropha and Pongamia. Jatropha common name Kanuga. Pongamia Jatropha common name Adavi Amgamu. Pongamia common name Kanuga. So both are two plants are produced biodiesel and is also containing rich content of hydrocarbons. Okay now. Biodiesel is also produced from plants like Jatropha and Pongamia, which are rich in hydrocarbons. In generally, plant causes to be produced coal, coke, gasoline, petrol, and also diesel. But some of the plants is also to be produced biodiesel. These are containing rich in hydrocarbons. Now coming to greenhouse effect can be controlled by intensive tree planting. So greenhouse mainly affected can be controlled by intensive tree plantation. Okay now. So next coming to chemical fertilizers have been reduced at a greater level by using biofertilizers. Those biofertilizers like Azolla, Nasta, Anabina and Rhizobium. So nowadays so many farmers to be utilized chemical fertilizers. So these chemical fertilizers to be having some of the harmful chemicals, so to be affected by in human population, so to be causing of some harmful diseases. So in this time to be altering of biofertilizers, those biofertilizers so to be forming of Azolla, Nasta, Anabina and Rhizobium. By means some of the living organisms is also to be produced one type of nitrogen and one type of phosphorus and one type of potassium. So hence nowadays to be utilized biofertilizers, this is not harmful. These biofertilizers are not harmful and are not to be increasing of the pollution. Is also decreasing of the pollution and not infected by human population. There is no side effects in the human population. Those biofertilizers organisms like Nasta, Anabina, Azolla and Rhizobium. So nowadays so many farmers are to be utilized as biofertilizers. These biofertilizers are available in fertilizer shops. Those are here Nasta, Anabina, Azolla and Rhizobium. Both organisms are containing rich content of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, mainly containing nitrogen. And other importance are here. Several seaweeds are used in the extraction of iodine and agar-agar. Dear students, iodine and agar-agar, so both are obtained from one type of seaweeds. So these iodine and agar-agar to be produced one type of seaweeds such as Polycyponia and also Sargassum or Carrageen. So red algae members such as Polycyponia and Sargassum and also Lamnaria and also Carrageen to be produced extraction products such as iodine and agar-agar. Both are red algae members. By means to be produced red algae members, iodine and agar-agar to be produced red algal members such as especially Lamnaria and also Carrageen. Okay, now this is the scope of botany or importance of botany. Dear students, good morning to one and all. Previous classes we will detailedly discuss about the origin and development of botany and scope or importance of botany. Now let us discuss about the branches of botany. Botany is further divided into several branches, mainly in 16 branches are here. So first branch morphology, the second branch cytology or cell biology, third branch embryology, fourth branch palynology, fifth branch taxonomy, sixth branch plant physiology, seventh branch plant ecology, eighth branch genetics, ninth branch phytogeography, 10th branch plant pathology, 11th branch paleobotany, 12th branch phycology, 13th branch mycology, 14th branch lichenology, 15th branch biology, 16th branch teridology. Okay now, so 16 botany branches are here. So okay now, first branch morphology. So morphology is always described about, deals with the study and description of different organs of plants, that is called morphology. Morphology is always deals with the study and description of different plant organs, that is called morphology. In this morphology can be divided into two parts. Morphology again can be divided into two parts. First part external morphology, second part internal morphology. What is the meaning of external morphology? It is with the study and description of external characters, plant organs like root, stem, leaf, flower and fruit. External morphology deals with the study and description of external characters of plant organs, that is external characters such as roots, stems, leaves, flowers and fruits, that is called external morphology. External morphology totally described about the external characters of plant organs such as root characters, stem characters, leaves characters, inflorescence characters, flower characters and fruit characters. Next, coming to second part, internal morphology. What is the meaning of internal morphology? It is the study of internal structure of plant organs, that is called internal morphology. Internal morphology is always deals with the study and description of internal structure of plant organs. Internal morphology is always deals with the study and description of internal plant organs, that is called internal morphology. So in this internal morphology again can be divided into two branches. Okay, now don't confuse over here. Morphology can be divided into two parts, such as one is external morphology, second one is internal morphology. Clearly understood? Next coming internal morphology again further divided Histology deals with the study of different tissues present in the plant body. Dear students, generally plant body is made up of number of cells or more than 2 cells or a group of cells. These group of cells are formed to be tissues. These group of cells are formed to be tissues. These tissues are constricted in their plant body. These tissues are constricted in their plant body. Okay now, it is the study of different tissues present in the plant body. The plant body containing different tissues. Okay now, a group of cells or more than 2 cells to be form a one tissue. So in these tissues are different types. Different types of tissues are present in the plant body. That is meristematic tissues. Okay now. Second one here, permanent tissues. That is simple tissues, complex tissues. Simple tissues are here parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Complex tissues are here xylem components and phloem components. These are the tissues present in their plant body. Herbs, shrubs and also trees. Herbs most of the present in their parenchyma tissues. Shrubs and remaining all are trees containing parenchyma, sclerenchyma as well as collenchyma. Next coming to second branch, anatomy. So it deals with the study of gross internal details of plant organs like root, stem, leaf, flower. Anatomy, it deals with the study of gross internal or transverse section of bone section or longitudinal section, gross internal details. Transverse section, that is TS, LS, longitudinal section. So it deals with the study of gross internal details as well as TS and LS, transverse section and longitudinal section of plant organs such as like root TS, transverse section of root, stem TS, transverse section of stem, leaf TS, transverse section of leaf, and flower TS of flower, transverse section of flowers. Okay now, this is a morphology. Morphology, it can be divided into two parts. One is external morphology, second one is internal morphology. Then internal morphology can be divided into two branches. One is histology, second one is anatomy. Now next coming to second botany branch, that is cytology or cell biology. What is the meaning of cytology or cell biology? So is the study of structure and functions of cell and cell organelles and their multiplication. So cytology or cell biology deals with the study of structure, cell structure and cell functions and cell organelles and their multiplication. It deals with the study of cell structure and functions as well as cell organelles. So several cell organelles are here such as chloroplast, mitochondria, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, ribosomes, lysosomes, glycosomes, peroxisomes and vacuoles. These are the some cell organelles, but larger cell organelles are here chloroplast, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex as well as nucleus and their multiplication that is called cytology or cell biology. Okay now, so cytology and cell biology. Who is father of morphology? Theophrastus. Theophrastus is regarded as a father of botany. Theophrastus is regarded as a father of morphology. Who is father of cytology or cell biology? So Robert Hooke is regarded as a cell biology or cytology. Robert Hooke is regarded as a father of cell biology or cytology. gametophytes. Male gametophytes occurs in the anther. Female gametophytes occurs in the gynoecium. Male gametophytes occurs in the androecium or stamens. Female gametophytes occurs in the gynoecium. Male gametophytes can having male gametes. Female gametophytes can having female gametes or ovules. Okay now. And formation of male and female gametes and process of fertilization. One male gamete is fused with the one female gamete. That is known as fertilization. Okay now. Male gametophytes can having or occurs in the androecium or stamens as well as anther. Female gametophytes occurs or can having gynoecium. Okay now, as well as ovary. And male gametophytes can having two male gametes. Female gametophytes can having female gametes. So then after one male gamete and one female gamete within the fuse. So that is known as fertilization. To be form a one diploid zygote. To be form a one diploid zygote. Fuses within the one male gamete and a female gamete. That is known as fertilization. After that is known as fertilization. So to be form of one diploid zygote. After fertilization, this diploid zygote can be changing embryo. Can be changing embryo. This embryo are containing endosperm and seed. This embryo are containing endosperm and seed. Endosperm and seed. By means after fertilization, zygote can change embryo. After fertilization, the ovary can change fruit containing seed. Fruit containing seed. This is a embryology. Who is the father of embryology? Panchanan Maheshwari is regarded as a father of embryology. As a father of embryology. Next, coming to fourth botany branch, palynology. So, it is the study of the development and structure of all other aspects related to microspores and pollen grains. Palynology, it deals with the study of structures and development of microspores and pollen grains. It deals with the study of development and structures of microspores and pollen grains. That is called palynology. Or it deals with the study of microspores or pollen grains. That is called palynology. Generally, so the androecium of anther will be produced several microspores or several pollen grains. After some time, each microspore or each pollen grain to be germinate will be produced male gametophytes. Will be produced male gametophytes. Okay now. Next, coming to fifth botany branch, taxonomy. So what is the meaning of taxonomy? It is with the identification, nomenclature and classification of plants into related groups on the basis of information obtained from different fields of botany. Different fields of botany, that is called taxonomy. Taxonomy is always deals with the identification, nomenclature and classification of plants. Given the one plant are here, first to be identified plant and then after to be classification of plants and then after to be nomenclature. Identification, nomenclature and classification, these three are mainly basic components of taxonomy. Taxonomy containing three basic components. First basic component, identification, that is any plant identification. Second one, nomenclature. So according to ICBN by a particular scientific name. And next third component, classification, to be order, to be giving hierarchy level of taxonomy. So into related groups on the basis of information obtained from different fields of botany, that is called taxonomy or systematic botany. Who is father of taxonomy? Carl von Linnaeus is regarded as a father of taxonomy or systematic botany. These are the some branches of botany. Dear students, now let us about the another branches of botany. So next coming to sixth botany branch, that is physiology. What is the meaning of physiology? Deals with the study of different vital activities of plants like absorption of water, minerals, photosynthesis, respiration, nitrogen, metabolism and growth. That is called physiology. Plant physiology deals with the study of different vital activities of plants like absorption of water and mineral nutrients. How to absorption of water and mineral nutrients in the plants. Photosynthesis. Where does occur in photosynthesis? What is the form of loose in the plants? And respiration. So what is the end product of respiration? And nitrogen metabolism. So how to utilizing of the plants in the nitrogen and growth that is plant growth. So that is the detailed described about the plant physiology. Okay, now mainly absorption of water and mineral nutrients, photosynthesis, respiration and nitrogen metabolism and growth and development. Growth and development, that is known as plant physiology. Who is the father of plant physiology in the worldwide? Stephen Hales. Stephen Hales is a father of plant physiology in the worldwide. Who is father of plant physiology in India? Sir J.C. Bose, that is Sir Jagdish Chandra Bose, is regarded as a father of Indian plant physiology. Okay, now next sixth botany branch, plant ecology, means is the study of reciprocal relationship between the plants and the environment in which they are living. Plant ecology deals with the study of reciprocal relationship between the plants and their surrounding environment. These are always living plants. That is called ecology, plant ecology. Who is father of plant ecology? Ramdeo Misra. Ramdeo Misra is regarded as a father of plant ecology. Plant ecology deals with the study of reciprocal relationship between the plants and surrounding their environments. That is called plant ecology. Next coming to eighth botany branch, that is named plant pathology. By means is the study of causes, symptoms, methods of control of plant diseases. Plant pathology is totally described about the causes. Some of the fungal organisms, some of the bacterial organisms, some of the viral organisms are infected by plants. So to be causing of some diseases and then suddenly to be appear some symptoms. So in these diseases and in their symptoms, how to controlling, that is named plant pathology. Okay, now next coming to ninth botany branch, phytogeography. By means is the study of geographical distribution of plants in the past and present. Phytogeography deals with the study of geographical distribution all over the world or on the earth. Geographical distribution of plants in the past and botany branch, that is paleobotany. So paleontology and also paleobotany, don't confuse over here. Paleontology, the study of microspores or colonids, that is called paleontology. But here in this one, paleobotany, so deals with the study of fossil plants, deals with the study of fossil plants, that is called paleobotany. What is the help of paleobotany? So in this paleobotany is always help used in understanding to the evolutionary in plants, understanding to the evolutionary in plants, that is help in paleobotany. Paleobotany deals with the study of only fossil plants, not living plants. Only fossil plants, deals with the study of only fossil plants or not living plants. It helps is an understanding with an evolutionary in plants, with an evolutionary in plants, that is paleobotany. Next coming to 11th botany branch, that is named genetics. By means deals with all aspects related to genes, such as their structure, synthesis, inheritance and mutations. Genetics deals with all aspects related to genes, or short meaning the study of genes, that is called genetics. Okay now, and gene structure, that is DNA and RNA structure, synthesis and inheritance and also mutations, inheritance and also mutations. Okay now, that is called genetics. Deals with all aspects related to genes, such as their structure, synthesis and synthesis kinds. So both nucleic acids are here, DNA and RNA. DNA is always to be act of, DNA is always to be act of genetic material. RNA is always to be act of protein synthesis, and inheritance. So those characters are passed from parent to offspring, that is called inheritance. Some characters are passed from one generation to another generation, or characters are passed from parent to offspring, that is the name inheritance. And mutations, suddenly change of phenotypic characters, suddenly changing of the phenotypical characters, that is named mutations. Okay now, next coming to 12th botany branch, phycology or algology. So is the study of all aspects related to algae. So in this algae is always chlorophyllus and autotrophic thalophytes, Phycology or algology, it deals with the study of algae. Especially algae is also one type of plant, but is always occurs in growing of water. So generally algae are chlorophyllus. Why? Because containing chlorophyll pigments. Chlorophyllus. Algal members is also containing chlorophyll pigments. So hence is always to be appeared green in color. And autotrophic thalophytes to be make a own food material in the presence of sunlight. Why? Because containing chlorophyll pigments. Thalophytes, the plant body is not differentiated into true root, true stem, true leaves, that is called thalophytes. In generally, in higher plants, the plant body consists of true root, true stem, true leaves. But in lower plants, especially algae, fungi, including bryophyta, so here the plant body is not differentiated into true root, true stem, true leaves. There is no well plant body. There is no well plant body, that is called phycology. Next coming to 13, mycology. What is meaning of mycology? Deals with the study of fungi. That is called mycology, which are non-chlorophyllous heterotrophic thalophytes. That is mycology. Next 14 are here lichenology. So lichenology means is the study of lichens, which are a special group of plants, which are algal and fungal members live together as symbiotes. That is called lichenology. Next coming to bryology. So it is the study of bryophytes. these are also occupations of Lord kingdom. Next coming to sixth one, period